Who could have guessed me back here talking about trends again? I've been doing this for too long at this point. I'm talking when I first started, nobody cared because they were actually too busy watching their 100th smoky eye tutorial for that week. And I must admit, I'm probably not quite as invested in keeping up with trends as I was back then. However, I love fashion and trends will always play a huge part in that. I feel like they get a lot of slander nowadays, and points have been made, but it doesn't have to be all doom and gloom, okay? Trends can be fun, and personal style and trends can actually coexist. This time of year, as well as April, are my favorite to do trend-related videos because thankfully, the Northern and Southern hemispheres are somewhat on the same page. We're both in transitional seasons rather than the complete opposite. Plus, I am extra excited because I'm actually spending time in October and November overseas, so I actually get to join in on the fall trends this year. With that being said, what is a fall trend? Because honestly, year after year, it's giving deja vu. I feel like you've had your fun, maybe experimental summer, and then as the fall rolls in, you want to reach for comfort, and that includes your style as well. This is particularly evident when it comes to jackets because nearly every single year, the same styles are being referenced, which I love to see because there's no way you need to be investing in all new outerwear pieces every single fall. And I'm very much team outfit repeater. However, the beauty of jackets being in style for so long means that there's so many different styling options that you can take inspo from. For example, faux fur coats, last time we saw them being styled with the mob wife aesthetic, but they also work perfectly for a heavy 70s influence, or you can take inspiration from iconic characters like Carrie Bradshaw. My prediction for this season is seeing a resurgence in garu or gal inspired looks. We've already seen massive popularity with the shoujo girl aesthetic trending over on TikTok, and Pinterest Autumn Trend Report had Japanese styling, home decor, and foods all trending upwards. And I totally get that the bag decorating trend has kind of been dubbed as Jane Birkin inspired, but to me personally, it has always felt very J fashion coded, which is why I think we could see even more and more inspo pulled from garu and other J fashion subcultures from the 2000s and even the 2010s. I'm obviously all in on accessorizing your accessories, from embellishing shoes to decorating belts, and your phone is no exception either. I mean, come on, it is quite literally all in the details, so why would I want a naked iPhone in my mirror selfie when I could have a cute case, wrist strap combo that perfectly complements the outfit? And if you're wondering how I leveled up my phone aesthetic, it is actually all thanks to today's video sponsor, Casetify, who offer an amazing range of products that help customize and protect your devices. Some of my top picks at the moment are this adorable gingham picnic, such a classic, literally never going out of style, and I love how it teams up with this yellow wrist strap as well for an extra pop of color. They've got a bunch of really cute wrist straps and also charms. I picked up this little frosted bows one, which actually reminded me of the really girly phone charms you'd see in old shoujo manga. And then I also got the Heart of Steel version to team up with the Chrome Doodles case. So between them, I feel like that really covered the two opposing sides of my personal style. So I know my phone's always gonna look good no matter what mood I'm in when I'm picking out an outfit that day. If you know me at all, or any Nana fan for that matter, it'll be absolutely no surprise that this is my favorite case because we are willing to buy anything with a cute strawberry on it. Something that might actually be shocking though is that I'm not really a big bag person. For me, it's just about decorating the bag and what it brings to the overall outfit. But if you were to open it up, there's nothing inside. So I love that they have the crossbody strap option because it means that it still adds interest to the outfit while still being practical. And it's super simple to attach and remove as well. So even if it's an occasion where I actually need to bring a few extra things, it looks super cute to attach the straps and the charms to the bag of the day as well. You can check out all my favorite Casetify products online now via my exclusive link that will also score you 15% off. I'll leave it on screen and down below in the description box. There's no manual code you have to enter. If you use that link, then it'll automatically sort it out for you. I think this time last year was around when bows were approaching its peak, so of course, we've swung back the other way, and I think this season we're going to be seeing a lot more studs and even just any heavy duty silver hardware like eyelets and anything that looks kind of pierced. So far, I've mainly seen this through accessories, a few shoes, and a lot of bags. I definitely have seen some really cool clothing options as well. I'm not sure that I would invest in it just because other times when they previously come in trend, I feel like they don't hang around too long. But I guess the beauty of this one is if you have the patience, definitely DIY-able. I still love me a cutesy moment, so although I can agree that the bows were overdone. I actually think that they still look good. So I think that my favorite way I saw this was actually just combining the two at Chipotle. Another silver related trend, I guess, and I'm sure you've heard people talk about it, is chainmail. But despite how many people I've seen talk about it, I feel like I don't see a ton of people actually wearing it. So I don't know, this might end up staying more on the niche side of things, but also I guess with Chapel Roan's VMA look recently, perhaps we'll see more people get on board. But then again, it's not like it picked up speed when Zendaya gave us that iconic look, but I don't know, maybe she was just too ahead of her times. There's some really cool pieces that I'm assuming a lot of the time are custom. I have a soft spot for this one, how she's just like thrown it over as though it's any old scarf. If this does end up being, I guess, too intense for mainstream popularity, there's a couple of different ways I think we might see it manifest. The first is just intricate or over the top beading. This seems like it might be slightly less intimidating for people to try. And also I feel like when it comes holiday season, there always has to be something somewhat sparkly trending, whether it's metallics or sequins, and beading could definitely step in for that. But also maybe we could see people's interpretations of different armor incorporated into their fashion. I feel like one of the easiest ways to do this would be with intense bracelet stacking. As much as I love a good accessory, I am the first to admit I am seriously lacking in the bracelet department. So this is one of the top things on my list when I'm op shopping at the moment. There's always some sort of interpretation on the underwear as outerwear trend. I guess the most recent being bloomers, and one that I've had my eye on for quite a while, but I feel like has stayed more niche rather than pushing through to the mainstream, is garter belts. I love this as a layering option, and depending on your desired look, it can be as subtle as you want it to be. No doubt a lot of the coolest ones are probably vintage, but I'm also seeing designers purposefully work it into the items. And honestly, the way I've gotten on board with it is just using a tie-up halter top and turning it upside down. Having the straps just kind of dangle there gives a very similar illusion, and I didn't have to spend any money. When it comes to colors, for the most part, I feel like people are still sticking to burgundy. I do want to give a shout out to kind of taking inspiration from food when it comes to your color choice. This has apparently been quite the trend on Chinese social media, with people taking inspiration from the varying degrees of how cooked your steak is, aka shades of brown are trending. But I don't know, I think the little twist on it does make things more fun. I don't know about you, but strawberry matcha has had Brisbane and the Gold Coast in a literal chokehold for the last couple of months. So I think that we're going to see a lot of that color combo come into our outfits as well, especially for us since we're moving into spring. I'm trying to think if there's any other food or drink combos that would be fun to take inspo from. Let me know if you have any ideas, because I feel like it would be a cool video, even like taking inspo from the most random stuff. You know how a few years ago everyone just became obsessed with Miu Miu, and the brand was really pushing for people to wear it from head to toe in the full runway looks? Well, the latest brand to be attempting something similar is seemingly Chloe. It's yet to be seen if it'll be anywhere near as successful, but to me, now I'm not a designer girly, so don't quote me, but in my mind, I've always associated them with a 70s sort of influence, which is what I think is definitely going to be trending again. I'm seeing everyone talking about suede once again, whether it is jackets or bags, and also a lot of fringing as well. If you're looking for inspiration though, you don't have to go new, which that sounds really obvious because it's literally a previous decade, but I don't mean that you have to go back to the source material even. I feel like the 70s is such an influence on so many different designers, so there's a lot of incredible runway styling that you can take inspo from. I kind of have mixed feelings about this because I love and appreciate the styling when it's done right, but in my head, I still associate it with a younger me where I hadn't found my personal style yet, and the 70s were quite trendy. So I was very much influenced, to say the least. So I guess I kind of look back on that and cringe a little bit, which makes me slightly hesitant to get back on board with it, despite how much I do actually like it on other people. But on the bright side, that might mean it is finally time for that poncho resurgence I've been annoying you guys with for so long now. I kind of feel like the blouses from the Chloe show could also lean into like a pirate core concept, which I think I could get more on board with. I feel like there was talk of clown core a little while ago, but it didn't end up picking up that much traction. I feel like pirates are a little bit more relatable though, I guess. I don't know, it just feels like it would be an easier sell to the public. But I really do think that now is the perfect time for those sort of trends, because as people are kind of thinking of what they're going to wear for Halloween, they're getting into the spirit of it. They're like, oh, maybe like a casual cosplay throughout the month wouldn't hurt either. Typically that kind of ends up being like pop culture witches or vampires, but I don't see why pirates couldn't fit the bill as well. And sometimes these kind of bigger concepts end up being watered down to the point where you wouldn't even clock that the original reference might be pirates anyway. For example, scarves tied around the waist. You already know I've been talking about skirts over pants for at least 3 years at this point, but recently I've been finding myself reaching for just like a lacy scarf to tie around instead, just to switch things up, particularly if I'm aiming for an outfit that has a more simple silhouette. Obviously, we can all agree that denim is an absolute classic that never goes out of style, but that doesn't mean that there isn't also denim trends every single season, every single year. There's been heaps of double denim, especially in a dark wash set. Honestly, it just looks so good on everyone I've seen wear it, to the point where I am very, very tempted, but taking a step back objectively, I think it would be a little bit too rigid and uniform for what I usually gravitate towards. So probably just gonna keep admiring it from afar unless I happen to find the perfect one for me. And actually just denim jackets in general, I feel like are back in a big way. Potentially this has been happening for a while and I just didn't even register because, like I said, denim, it's a staple. And this could totally just be me, but in my mind, they've been kind of dormant for like the last 5 years. I feel like I wore a denim jacket with nearly every single outfit prior to 2018, and then since then haven't really been reaching for them. To be fair, that does kind of line up with when I started to find my personal style, and before that, I think that the denim jacket was honestly the only outerwear option that I knew to layer with, and probably was sick of it at that point, so maybe I'm just opening my eyes to it again. Not just the denim jacket, but I think maybe blazers as well. We're starting to see them cinch in at the waist, which is giving a very hourglass figure, but also very peplum adjacent. It seems like we just keep dipping our toes in and kind of dancing around a full-blown resurgence, but I do feel like it will be coming soon. So many 2010s comebacks, only a matter of time. Also, something I noticed with the jackets back in the 2010s, I feel like you would very rarely see them done up, whereas that seems to be a big styling point now, even if it's only just the first couple of buttons done up. And we've seen this for the last couple of years with cardigans as well. So I think that buttons are gonna continue to be a prominent feature. If you are just doing the top one up, I love when it's oversized. It could also be cool to jazz up an old cardigan by switching out for some mismatched vintage buttons. And I know this is something that's been talked about in trend videos for a while, but I feel like we're probably going to see it peak this season, and maybe we'll move into some other interesting fastenings as well. Cowhide is another one that you absolutely cannot escape in these trend videos. I'm actually not a fan of it though, definitely won't be investing in it, just because unless it's a leopard print, I feel like all the other animal prints come and go so quickly. The likelihood of this being on people's what's out list next season is far too high. One of my favorite things about fall fashion is sticking to classic patterns. Plaid, it's going to be there for me every single year. Even the classics can have certain periods where they spike in popularity though, and this season it definitely seems like a bold stripe and also polka dots. I know it might not sound too interesting, but you can actually find some really fun inspo. I love playing around with tights or leg warmers. You could opt for a brighter color rather than the traditional black and white stripe. Teaming 2 different stripes together can be really playful, or take it a step further and actually clash the stripes and polka dots. I guess the polka dots were more of a thing in spring and summer, but once I saw Sabrina Carpenter's set in the Taste music video, I felt like it's probably going to stick around, and especially for me going into spring and summer, I'm still excited to style it. You actually need to convince me right now not to go and buy that exact set because I cannot stop thinking about it. And even with the stripes, I guess that there could be some subconscious influence with the comeback of Beetlejuice. I don't know, it's giving very much like those Topshop jeans that were super popular in 2014, which again is really just crediting the return of indie sleeves because they totally remind me of Effie. And you know what else is associated with stripes? Sailor. I'm sorry, I spoke about this in my last trend video as well, but since then I have continued to see it slowly trend upwards. And like I was kind of saying with the pirate core, it doesn't have to be over the top theme dressing, although with that being said, I do desperately want one of the cute little sailor hats. I feel like I can justify it since I am such a hat person, but not my point. The outfit doesn't have to feel overtly nautical. I actually think how we'll be seeing it the most is just a simple white blouse that happens to have a sailor collar. I mean, at this point, everyone's already a Sandy Leanne girly, so it makes sense that they would adopt this feature as well. But hey, maybe we will be seeing even more nautical, because if you think about it, the last few seasons we've had things like Coastal Granddaughter, which is obviously also very seaside, and with the kind of office wear that's been trending, I could see a return of the tailored sailor trouser. Of course, since this is more of a transitional season, there's still going to be a bunch of the same trends that you've already seen this year. For example, capris. The most common way we saw this throughout the summer was the more fitted type, but I think moving into the cooler weather that this silhouette might change a bit. Something a little fuller and more relaxed that perhaps you could even team up with a sock, stocking, and a loafer. Or if we're sticking more to that fitted silhouette, I could see it being layered up with skirts, dresses, even shorts. You might not be ready, but that's right, I'm talking Disney Channel. And I don't know how I completely forgot about the pantaloon situation, kind of a hybrid from the capri and bloomer trends we've already been seeing. Another one I see sticking with us after a few years strong already is the long skirt epidemic. I expect to be seeing it teamed with cute and cozy sweaters, super simple, but for me, my favorite outfit formula, this is definitely here to stay no matter what in my books. I'm sure there's a bunch more that I haven't touched on today, but you can let me know in the comments what you've been keeping your eye on recently. And thank you again to today's video sponsor, Casetify. Remember, if you want some cute phone accessories, that you can check out the link in the description box for that 15% off. As always, thank you so much for watching, and hopefully I'll be able to see you again really, really soon. Bye.